Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just one sec, there we go. Well, today I will be bringing you new technologies within Twilight Imperium. We will be taking a look at them and just the different special things about them. So it's going to be a pretty quick video on this. I'm inside Tabletop Simulator, so that's how we are seeing all these. Alright, so to jump right in, we got we got two of each color, so two blue, two yellow, two green, and two red. And 1 second. Oh my gosh, do not disturb. Should always be on this one. Alright, cool. Alright, so with our beginning colors, blue, yellow, green, and then red. So the first new technology that we have received within Twilight Imperium 4th Edition Prophecy of Kings is Dark Energy Tap. After you perform a tactical action in a system that contains a frontier token, if you have one or more ships in that system, explore that token. So, the frontier tokens, where are they? I guess I should have pulled this out earlier. There's 13 Prophecy Kings deals in here. Let's see here. Oh, that's the action cards that got taken out. Exploration bag. Yes, this is it. This is not it. This is what you get if you explore. Here we are. Frontier token. So on empty spaces where there are no planets, so like the supernova, empty space, asteroid fields, and nebulas, these tokens will be there. It is the frontier token, and it allows you to draw from, it's over here, the frontier deck whenever you go and explore that region, and you can possibly get a relic fragment, a neutral one, or different things. So for the second part of this, which several of these new technologies have received a secondary ability within that strategy card, and at least one of these will always be able to be performed. So your ships can retreat into adjacent systems that do not contain other players' units, even if you do not have units or control planets in that system. So this is a skilled retreat, but you don't have to retreat into a region of... This is basically a skilled retreat. Because retreat, you have to go back into your own space, if I'm getting this correctly. And then this allows you to skilled retreat, which skilled retreat you can move where you don't have units. Alright, moving on. The first yellow of the new techs is Scanlink drone network. When you activate a system, you may explore one planet in that system which contains one or more of your units. So this is basically part of a stall action, where if you have already taken a system with planets, you have a second, or you can re-explore the planets. So within this whole new network of things that have been added to Prophecy of Kings, exploration is one of the things where you have the ability to explore planets whenever you take them. Well, this lets you re-explore them afterwards, because you can only explore the planet once. Alright. Next up, Archaeology. You can use technology specialties on planets you control without exhausting them, even if those planets are exhausted. So, now with this one, you have the ability to use your tech specs for two different things. You can use a tech spec for secondary leadership, and then you use the resources on the planet for whatever, like either building or secondary leadership, or using it for tech as well. And then you can use the tech spec. If you're using the tech spec for technology, then you don't have to exhaust it, which means you can use it later for building up your different units, if you're going to use it to build with or anything else. Alright, so the second thing is, during the action phase, you can exhaust planets you control that have technology specialties to gain one trade good. So if you use the tech spec for technology and don't exhaust it, then you can get a trade good out of that, which is usually better than the resource value. It's still just a one resource value planet most of the time for these, but this is helpful to get another trade good, which is helpful for objectives. Alright, AI development algorithm. When you research a unit upgrade technology, you may exhaust this card to ignore any one prereq. So, if you're wanting War Suns, you only need 3 reds and a yellow. This will be your yellow, or 2 reds and this will be your extra red, and then you can use a yellow text skip. Alright, so the second one is when one or more of your units use production, you may exhaust this card to reduce the combined cost of the produced units by the number of unit upgrade techs you own. So, if you have Carrier 2, which I have some of these, if you have these 3, well, that's basically 3 Sarween tools for you, which I mean, Destroyer 2 is pretty great to have now, but these two are usually Carrier 2 XRD transporters and Dreadnought 2 Type 4 drive are usually the number 1 research technologies for units. So if you have these two, you get 2 extra Sarweens basically, and if you have Sarween, that's 3 resources less for whatever you're building. So that's also these are all helpful technologies in different ways for all these new and previous races. So I mean, pretty much you just have to figure out the combos. It's going to be hard to figure out all of it before Prophecy of Kings tournament with Space Cats Peace Turtles, but it's going to be great to find out how these combos with different technologies from the past, which are all the old technologies, and combos with new technologies as well. Alright, let's start with the red down here. Self-assembly routines. After one or more of your units use production, you may exhaust this card to place 1 mech from your reinforcements on a planet you control. So this is a free mech, which is helpful because all the mechs are super powerful against infantry. They hit harder, so it is good to have mechs with you fighting against infantry. The mech, let's just have a mech to show you real quick. I pulled up Yusarl because of this ability, but anyways, so just 1 mech to show off before I show off all the other mechs in another video. So this hits on its cost of a 2, which that saves you 2 trade goods to use this instead of using your money to build it. So that's good. And then it hits on a 6 compared to infantry hitting on a 7, which that's infantry 2. The infantry 1 hit on an 8. So that's better by 2. You have a greater chance of hitting a 6 than on a 8, and you have a greater chance of hitting a 6 than a 7. It's still pretty close though, but the sustained damage is another ability that helps with the ground combat and makes the mech stronger. Alright, and then after one of your mechs is destroyed, gain 1 trade good. So after that's destroyed, you get a trade good. So if you combo these two, you can double up your trade goods and get pretty rich. But it's all dependent on what is necessary for the game, because with technology in Prophecy of Kings, it's really sporadic, and it can be beneficial or not beneficial to have certain technologies. It can be beneficial to even have only like 3 or 4 technologies within the game, like I did for my first game. Okay, so biostims. You may exhaust this card at the end of your turn to ready one of your planets that has a technology specialty, or one of your technologies. Alright, so you can either combo it with Archaeology to ready a planet that you exhausted for some reason with either tech or producing units, and then you can go ahead and use that to gain a trade good. Or you can do this, which lets you unexhaust a technology. So this is a technology for the Sorrow tribes. I had them pulled up because I figured it would be good to talk about them, because they actually have a way for biostims to help with their technology. So if you use Magion implants, however you say it, you get to take an action card from someone's hand after looking through their hand, and you get to keep that card. Well, with biostims, you get to do this twice. So there's that, which is super powerful for Isarl. And that just means double the action cards for Yssaril, and that puts them at just a ton. They get a ton of action cards already. I've had like 20 action cards in a game before, so this would probably make it even more. Alright, the second yellow, Predictive Intelligence. At the end of your turn, you may exhaust this card to redistribute your command tokens. So this can be helpful for many of the races, like Barony, or if Necro needs to redistribute their command tokens, because they're both really high in command token value. They are able to produce and get a ton of command tokens. And the other ability, when you cast votes during the agenda phase, you may cast 3 additional votes. If you do, and the outcome you voted for is not resolved, exhaust this card. So 3 extra votes. I didn't read that second part whenever I played a game. I don't know if I actually did that or didn't have to do that. But this is helpful for, say, Argent Flight, where they already get an extra vote per player in the game. Well, this will give them 3 extra votes, and then however much influence they actually have. So that can be super helpful for any agenda phase faction. And the second blue is action. Exhaust this card to produce one ship in any system that contains one of your space docks. Well, this is helpful to produce a ship without activating a system in a space dock. And then you can biostims it and do it again if you felt like it. So these are the new technologies. There will be many combos that I will probably try out and let you know how they go as I play more Prophecy of Kings games. I've only played like 3 or 4 so far. 3, 4, yes, I think that sounds about right. But I haven't had much time to tell you all the combos, but I have explained them all, shown you how they work, and will be coming at you with another video on how they work more with other technologies as I play more games, and I will be coming out with that video as soon as possible. See you guys later.